Yo, fam, what is up? You are back for another video with Datazero. This is your daily outlook and prediction for stocks and cryptos. Videos not financial advice, should not be taken as such. Please do your own research and due diligence for buying any stock or crypto asset. With that being said, we'll be hopping into the chart, showing you guys what's going on. Facts and data, you already know the deal. Listen, AMC and GME situation, y'all. This is crazy. The stock market situation. This is crazy, all right? We're literally seeing some wild things start to happen. And let's just run back how all of this started, ladies and gentlemen. Remember, this started with liquidity issues starting to come out. We saw this happening where the reverse repo went crazy. Then we saw articles coming out saying that liquidity was drying up. We saw, again, people borrowing, trying to get that liquidity flowing, trying to get things backed up. Possible margin calls could be coming in. SPY is starting to pull back. We're starting to see a correction. Technicals playing out, bear flag playing out. A lot of people don't even know why it's pulling back, but this is technicals and the liquidity issues. And now we're seeing AMC start to creep to the upside, ladies and gentlemen. What is happening? And despite all of that, GameStop dumping down to a new low, losing that $22 level. I did say if we lost $22, you would see a significant move to the downside, and that is what we are seeing. Guys, I'm going to break this all down, what is going on and what it could mean and what we're looking at for tomorrow right now in today's video. So first thing we want to look at, because tomorrow's going to be Friday, is going to be that max pain. Max pain for GME is sitting at $23, and max pain for AMC is sitting at $2.50. So unfortunately, AMC's max pain is to the downside. GME's max pain is to the upside. That's fortunate. That means we could get a little bit of relief from this. Also, RSI extremely oversold right now here on GME. GME is getting crushed right now. The RSI is just very, very oversold on the 4-hour time frame. Buyers are going to definitely be stepping in. Let's go ahead and see if we can't see any buy orders here for GME as well. Yeah, a ton of buy orders, ladies and gentlemen. A ton of buy orders. This could easily be a liquidity grab, and we are definitely going to see a bounce back to the upside. There's a ton, literally a ton of buy orders here for GME, starting all the way back up here at $22, all the way down to 12. People are trying to accumulate GME on this pullback, and these are on multiple time frames. We are seeing these buy orders. This is very, very bullish. I believe GME is definitely going to be seeing a bounce back to the upside. We're outside the bands. RSI oversold here on the 4-hour time frame, almost oversold on the daily. So we could see a little bit more downside, unfortunately, but I don't think GME ultimately is going to lose $20. I believe $20 is going to be the floor. It's been the floor for quite some time after we got this push up from $9.95. We've been bottoming around like $18 to $20. We've been having this nice floor, and recently we kind of had a higher floor here where we've been bottoming around this 22 level, and that's why if we lose it, you're going to see a drop down, and why we could see a little bit more downside until that RSI gets oversold on the daily, so don't be surprised for that. But I don't think GME is going to lose $20. In my personal opinion, 18 would be the absolute lowest where I would see this thing going before we get a bounce. There's no way anything can happen in the stock market, but based off everything I'm seeing here with all of these buy orders, where we're at on the RSI, how beaten down we've been overall, there's no way that we lose $18 to $20 range, in my personal opinion. And if we do come down lower, that's where we'll be seeing a significant bounce. And once we see that bounce, you could see a nice move to the upside. Normally, when GME gets this beat down, you guys can see we get these moves to the upside. You guys can see we had this big rally up, but then came down. Then we get a nice move up. Come down, we get a nice move up. So that happens in GME's history, getting beat down, and then we get a nice move up. So this happens in GME's history before. I think that we're going to see a bounce, in my personal opinion. AMC is also starting to lead the way. What's going on with this? Is GME and AMC decoupling? No, I don't think that. AMC is just kind of in a different stage right now. It did hit that oversold territory on the 4-hour time frame. Also, AMC, if it's able to stay above the key level of $2.60, you guys can see we actually closed there right now. If we can break above and hold this level or stay above this level, however you want to look at it, as long as you're staying above 260, you could see a significant pop to the upside. And if AMC breaks above, make sure you guys like and subscribe. That way you have these charts. But if AMC is able to break above this yellow sloping support and resistance that you guys see here on your screen, then you're going to see a significant pop up, and that means that AMC is also bottoming. All right, so make sure you guys like and subscribe. That way you guys can see these charts. I go live all the time putting these charts on the screen and interacting with you guys, so make sure you hit that bell notification as well. That way you know when I do go live. So again, AMC looks like it's potentially recovering. I don't want to officially call the bottom out just yet until we break above this yellow sloping support and resistance and hold that level. If we do see that, you're going to see AMC bottom, and then you're going to see it start to move to the upside towards these gap fills that it has several gap fills. Now, we do have to worry about heading into December. Again, in my personal opinion, some people could think I'm wrong, but if we get more dilution, the stock will be pushed down. It's kind of ironic how this is all happening as we're getting close to that vote. We're also seeing finally cost to borrow start to move up. It's now coming down a little bit. We're seeing cost to borrow move up for both of the meme stocks. AMC, they're shorting heavily. We're seeing dark pool. You guys can see cost to borrow is rising here. They're shorting heavily. Dark pool's going crazy. You guys can see the dark pool volume, that's this white bar here, has been going up overall. We saw some crazy numbers like 80, 75%. Right now here at closing, it's 63% for today. But again, heavy manipulation. They're trying to keep us down. And it's ironic that all of this is happening right around that time where if they do get the yes vote, they'll be able to get liquidity and then kick the can down the road. And that's what I believe off of my research. You guys can believe whatever you want. But I believe that they use those shares of dilution to help kick the can down the road and also beat the price down. And that's why we're seeing cost to borrow so low. But now that liquidity is finally drying up and they desperately need those shares, that's why they're trying to get a yes vote and divide the community. That's why we're seeing cost to borrow finally start to go up, and we're seeing AMC potentially even bottom and push up, but we have to worry about that December 10th date. GME, again, I don't think it's going to be losing that $18 to $20 level in my personal opinion. That's been our floor. We're outside of the bands right now. RSI is just very oversold. Daily's not yet there, so that's why I said we could see a little bit more downside. But there's multiple gap fills to the upside. We're filling all the gap fills to the downside right now, and I believe buyers are going to be stepping in massive amount of buy orders waiting to accumulate GME once it does pull back. So again, we could have a little bit more of the storm to weather for GME, and they're also trying to push GME down because of margin right now. If AMC goes up, you got to think of it as like a cup of water. If AMC is going up, it's filling the cup up. That's why they have to push GME down. Both AMC and GME are in the cup. So that's why we're seeing this as well. If AMC and GME were to go up together, that would put pressure on shorts from all sides. GME, unfortunately, I do think we could see a little bit more downside. AMC, I think, is going to be breaking above $2.60 and holding that level. But unfortunately, because of Max Payne tomorrow, we could see a little bit of downside. If you want to see AMC hold 255, if it's able to hold 255, we could see that move towards 260. But if we lose 255, we could be coming down towards a 254. And remember, because of Max Payne, the price target that market makers are going to be trying to get AMC is right underneath that $2.50 level, which is 249, 248. If we're able to stay above that, that means we were able to beat the market makers and shorts for that day. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what we're looking at for AMC and GME. Let's go ahead and move into SPY and overall market, show you guys what's going on there, and then we'll go into BTC and crypto. So SPY, again, we called this dump to the downside after breaking down out of this bear flag. You guys can see this bear flag here. We dumped down. We filled both of the gaps like I expected. Now, RSI is not yet oversold on the hourly time frame, 2-hour time frame, 4-hour time frame, and we have room to run here on the daily time frame as well because RSI was so hot. You guys can see this crazy bearish divergence, RSI trending down while price trending up. SPY is probably due for a big correction, whether people believe it or not. I think that this could be the start of it, but you want to be careful. You don't want to be shorting crazy, but I definitely think we're going to see a continuation down for SPY. Again, we're seeing that same bearish divergence here on the daily time frame that we saw on the weekly time frame before the big breakdown last time. You guys can see that kind of here happening as well. RSI trending down, price trending up. We had this correction, but this has happened here on the weekly time frame as well. When we saw this bigger correction to the downside out of that rising wedge, RSI trending down, price trending up, a big correction. So again, bearish divergence normally correlates with big corrections. Weekly MACD trending down. This does not look good in my personal opinion. If SPY loses the key level of 670, you're going to see a dump down to 6,824, so do be aware of that. What I think we're going to be seeing for SPY tomorrow, as long as we don't get a big drop down pre-market, I think we're going to see a little bit of excitement pre-market, maybe even a little bit of recovery. But then I think we're going to see a continuation to the downside, basically kind of making a little bit of a bull trap, all right? So this is what I'm looking at for SPY. Do be aware of it. SQQQ is starting to push to the upside. It did make a gap fill to the downside, but there's multiple gap fills to the upside. NASDAQ is looking crazy with that blow off top. I told you guys about this. I thought this was a blow off top. You guys can see we got this mega push to the upside. We are now trending down. We do have gap fills to the upside. You do want to be aware of that, but there's multiple gap fills to the downside as well. But if this thing starts to lose key levels and the floor gets kicked out from underneath it, we are going to see capitulation in the market. You're going to start seeing panic selling. Again, this market is built on stilts. We've been rallying for so long. So if people start to really panic, it could start to get ugly quickly. I don't think we're there just yet. And again, you want to be careful, because right now the stock market, fear and greed, is sitting in those extreme fear levels, guys. So you want to be careful about that. You want to be ready for that. It's kind of moving back into fear, but we're still in that extreme fear. Again, normally you want to do the opposite of herds. Be greedy when others are fearful. Be fearful when others are greedy. So I wouldn't go crazy on shorting, but it does look like overall on the macro, we could see a continuation down. As far as what tomorrow is concerned for SPY, though, I think that we'll probably see a little bit of excitement pre-market, a little bit of recovery, and then heading into the afternoon, we could see some bearishness here for SPY, as I do think overall we are going to be continuing down. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. Again, we go live all the time. We were able to call out this bear flag, this drop to the downside in the last 30 minutes of close. And we did call for downside in yesterday's video as well. Like and subscribe. Let's go ahead and move into crypto, BTC, show you guys what's going on there, and then we will wrap up this video. So Bitcoin, again, looking decent here. We don't want to lose 100K. But I'm still worried about a little bit more downside, especially if SPY were to crash. BTC, very liquid asset, they'll sell it off for liquidity. But you can see Bitcoin made this higher low right here, and if you look at what SPY is doing, it made a lower low. So Bitcoin is holding while the market in NASDAQ are making lower lows, okay? So Bitcoin's holding key levels. As long as Bitcoin stays above 100K, we are Gucci. But if Bitcoin loses 100K, you could definitely see a big move to the downside towards like 85, 75K. If we go ahead and look at BTC here, you guys can see that those buy orders are still in play, but they are starting to get ate up. You guys can see we have these buy orders here at like 95K, 92K. If we go ahead and go to these other time frames, you guys can see that there's some buy orders here at 93K, 89K. But all of the buy orders that were up here that I had circled from the last video, you guys can see those are getting ate up and or disappeared, ladies and gentlemen. So again, we're kind of losing that floor. We want to be careful. Still in a bull market until we break below this red line. Again, this trend line is on my charts. That's why you want to like and subscribe so you can track all of this stuff. We are still in that bull market as long as we remain above that line. Now you guys can see there are still some buy orders on the bigger time frame around this 100K down to like 97K level, but again, they're starting to disappear and get ate up as we come down and test those levels. Now, if we did lose that 100K, remember, we would be dropping down. But ultimately, I think Bitcoin would find a floor around the last bull market top. So around like 67 to 60K, we'll probably find a floor. If it's similar to what we did here, we could find a floor and push up and go higher. But that could lead into a deeper bear market later. But overall, still bullish on BTC on the long term. If it did come down, I would be grabbing some more. This is just my personal opinion. I think overall, when I'm ready to sell around retirement, much later down the road, because I am holding for the long term, I think that this is a type of asset that you hold for the long term, similar to gold or silver. I think those will also do good as well. But BTC is more liquid. It's easier to store. It's easier to accumulate and acquire. But I think that these things are going to continue up because inflation is going to continue. That's been the trend my whole life. Things have been costing more and more and more. The dollar's getting more and more worthless. So again, I want to put my money into assets that are going to grow. That way I can try to hedge against inflation and try to keep up. Because if you try to work your way out of inflation, it is literally running in the rat race because you're working for a dollar that's depreciating constantly. So this is why me personally, I'm holding BTC for the long term. And if I did see a dip, I would be grabbing. Again, if you're up massively, of course, take profits or do what you got to do. But me personally, I am just accumulating BTC. As long as we stay above that 100K level, we'll be fine. You could see a push all the way up to like 103. If Bitcoin's able to get back above like 108, I would consider that a recovery. But if the market starts to dump, it's going to take BTC down with it. Unfortunately, that's the cost of having institutions in our asset. They're going to be selling it off for liquidity, making sure they don't get margin called. You guys can see here, right now, Bitcoin dominance sitting at 58.3%. Ethereum did dump down, but we still have a bounce off of that macro accumulation range. You guys can see we have this big macro accumulation range, and we're actually bouncing off of that support right now. So again, there is signs of hope for a recovery. I do think Bitcoin is still in a bull market. As long as Bitcoin continues up, altcoins will be able to continue up. But if Bitcoin dumps, altcoins will absolutely dump. You guys have seen that. It's been proven time and time again. Again, there's always some outliers and stuff like that, but the general market's going to flow with BTC. So even if you hold altcoins, you're going to need Bitcoin to go up in order for your favorite altcoins to go up, unless you're dealing with really risky altcoins or meme coins. So again, you guys can see the rest of the crypto market's down. Cardano ADA sitting at 52 cents. Ethereum sitting at 3,300. As long as BTC holds that 100K level, we're good. But it looks like we potentially are topping here on BTC. So this is what we're looking at for crypto and the overall market. This is your daily outlook and prediction for stocks and crypto. If you found this video informative, drop a like, press subscribe for more content like this. I appreciate you if you watch to the end of the video. Also, crypto, fear and greed sitting in fear as well. Keep in mind of these things. Make sure you guys hit that like button, subscribe. I appreciate each and every one of you. We do have a Discord with exclusive technicals, predictions, and news. $100 for a lifetime invite. Payment made by PayPal or Cash App. Hit me up on my email, link in the comment section in the description. And as always, y'all, have fun, stay safe, make money. Peace out, fam.